Dumelang ko lapeng KG, and welcome to Young and Proud Educators, where we speak everything education. Guys, we continue with our reflection, our 10 years reflection in the game. It's a decade, Baba. It's a decade that we've been teaching. Such achievement is great and it needs to be appreciated. And I think we need to continue sharing our experiences as teachers. So those young aspiring teachers, when they come, they have somewhere to consult, something to listen into, a video to watch. That we're thinking, I'm not the first person to start this thing. There were teachers before me. They've laid a foundation. Let me refer. So this is one of my, and guys, I'm going to speak about now going to the class and do like the real teaching. Do the real teaching. Okay, so it's me going to this class now. I've got 40 children in front of me, and by that time I'm excited, as I've mentioned in my previous podcast, super excited that, you know what, I'm good in science. I was well trained. I went to one of the best universities, and when I did my practicals, I did well, and I would really think about how to teach the children. And in that way, again, was just to teach the children. I was not thinking about how exactly, what type of children am I preparing those lessons to, well, whilst I was still at university, because we're just preparing in general and giving you options how to go about that. But now I'm faced with this lovely students in front of me, super excited. They want to hear from me. I'm this young, tiny teacher with a big head, like as I've mentioned before. The big head like this, it was tiny, and looking forward to it. And my students now they were looking forward. That this is young, was the youngest at school. At work, I was 22, and I think the second youngest was 36. So it was quite young, very young. It even made me a bit insecure to some point. But I will speak about that in my next video. So the children are there. I'm well trained from best university in Africa, and as such, I told myself, you know what, I will get in there and I will teach. Like to be honest, as teachers from universities can be best, can be medium or whatever. But once you're from the university, you leave the university with the mindset that, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna teach to the best of my knowledge, to the best of how I was taught. And if I can do that as a teacher, then I will be a successful teacher. And same time, on the other hand, because you know, like teaching is not just one way you feed them information. It's relationships. You give, you take, just like that. So in my mind, I thought, if I can do that, then that's it. Children will learn, children will excel, we'll see a lot of results. But then I was obsessed with result. That if children are producing good results, that means learning has taken place. Results is a measure of knowledge being acquired. That was not the case. I will create another video about that. I will have a lot of videos, guys. So went in there, start teaching science. Start teaching science, and then you now need to ask children. You need to interact. And in the back of my mind, the way we were taught as students, when we become teachers, we think that's the same way we have to teach. We think that's the only type of teaching we have. It depends on where we're coming from. Some of us are from less privileged schools. Some of us are from middle privileged school. Some of us are from like real privileged schools. So it depends on where you're coming from. So you come with that experience as a student, and you come with your experience and your degree as a teacher, and you come in and you're like, you know what, once I start teaching, once I start feeding them, they will eat. And they will excel and they'll give you great results. It's never like that. The think universities just, they didn't do justice when it came to that. Yes, we did practicals. Yes, we went to different schools, and some of us went. I'm not making excuse for teachers, but to be quite honest, some of the teachers went to do practicals, and the schools that they did practicals, they didn't teach sometimes. Sometimes they were made to look after the children, like babying the children. We were not exposed to the full-on teaching. What does it mean to be a teacher, to have a class by yourself, to do the register? Like those basics were not there. And as such, we go to our own spaces, our own classes, and you come in, we teach, and I realize, you know what, this is not teaching. This is not happening. Because you get 40 children, you teach to the best of your knowledge, based on the results. When they come back, then they've learned the concept. So you move to the next one. I remember our first test, it was out of, I think, 16. Short, small test. Results came out of 40 children. It was only one child who got 15 out of 16. 15 out of 16. And when you look, like group of the children, they got 6 out of 16. So it means they missed 10. So they didn't do well. Then others are go 4, 3, 2, 1, to bottom. Some guys got 0. Then we're like, hey, what is happening here? How should I go about it? By that time, you don't know. Then you ask your colleagues, you start learning from them, particularly experienced teachers. They will tell you that, you know, Wanaka, I know you from this great university, but teaching is more like this, not like what you or have learned from the university. Like you as a person, you as a teacher, you learn that, you know what, for me to be a successful teacher, I need to lose. I need to die so I can live. Meaning that I need to let go of most of the things that I've learned at the university, most of the things that I experienced, most of the theories that you did at school, at varsity. You need to let go of that. So now you can come in and start from the bottom and learn from your colleagues, the most experienced, or the colleagues who are less experienced, but they've been exposed to the teaching and learning, to the classroom context. And the other most important part is teaching as it's not just standing in front of people and impart knowledge and share knowledge with them, and you expect them to just grasp and be better. It's not like that. We as teachers, we then have to get into the class and say, I am here as a learner. I'm standing in front of you as a learner. 40 children in front of you, 20 children in front of you, whatever number you're teaching, you're standing right in front of them and you say, literally saying, I am a learner. I am a child. And I want to learn from you. Now, please help me out. How? Okay, so teaching it's more like that, you know, die so you can live again. And not just you live, but the children live. So you stand right in front of them and you're like, you know what? I am a teacher, I'm qualified, I'm an adult, I'm a responsible adult in front of you. But I don't come with authority in a sense, authority in the sense that you come in and you tell children, do that, do that, do that, do that. That is not teaching. That will never work. Next one is you stand in front of them and say, you know what? I don't know how to teach you guys because I do not know you. Therefore, I'd like you guys to tell me or to teach me how to teach you. So before you start teaching any child, you need to allow them to teach you. That's why the first 2 weeks of teaching, the first 2 weeks of academic year, you don't jump in and teach. You want to create those relationships. You want to listen. You want to learn individuals. Then when you're aware of who they are, what they need, where they are, then you can start planning on where you can move them. But when you do that, you need to understand as a teacher that you're not just teaching a student in front of you. You're teaching somebody who's a brother, who's going through experiences, who might not have had breakfast. They're going through a whole lot of things. So there are a lot of things to consider when you teach. You're not just coming here in and teach and that's it. It's massive. It's a big thing ever. So that's what I went through as a young, ambitious, excited teacher, and I had to learn. And I would say by now, in my 10 years of teaching experience, the people that I learned the most from every year are my students. They are the best teachers ever, and they teach me how to teach them. That's why we have this beautiful relationship. Guys, I'll see you in my next video. I have to just close that up now. I'll see you guys in the next video where I'm going to speak about the importance of relationships. The importance of relationships and how they should be maintained. Peace to you. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Boop.